Hello, welcome back to another edition Junkyard Hack. It's going to be a short video on the Biscayne and what I'm going here for when I'm putting this thing together, this junkyard car. So it's going to be a short one, so follow along. Thank you, and please like, share, and subscribe. Okay, now as you can tell from the Biscayne, what I have is I have a lot of gewgaws on the dashboard, dice hanging from the mirror, although not fuzzy, and playing cards glued to the roof. I got a Mexican blanket for interior work on both the door jambs or door panels and the back seat, which doesn't match because it's from a 63 Chevy, not a 60 Chevy. And excuse me, I'm twisted here. So also the rusted out deck lid or package tray in the back, whatever you call it, is covered with license plates that are glued on to cover the rust. So this is done by design, so to speak, because I wanted to put together a car that I would do when I was 16 years old. That is, you get a junker car for next to nothing, which this doesn't cost me next to nothing, but in today's market, I guess it would be considered next to nothing for this car. Got it from a junkyard and put it together with junkyard parts, a junkyard engine, a junkyard transmission, and as cheap as possible. Try to make it look as nice as possible. Now, you pretty much saw the inside of it. It has metal floors, painted black. I went from a manual car to an automatic because it was easier and it just bolted right up. And I used a cheap Chinese shifter for that, and cobbled together some scrap metal to cover the hole up to accommodate that, so to speak. And like I said, metal floor, painted black. Everything else in here painted black or gray. Anything that's going to be shown here painted black and gray to match anything I could put in here. And just some aftermarket gauges over here. Didn't have a speedometer, so I had a cheap Chinese satellite type of speedometer up there because that was easier. An aftermarket turn signal switch. Aftermarket, this is for high beams. The easiest way to get the high beams to work with the wiring that I have. On that note, it needs a new wiring harness, and that's in the future. But for the meantime, I got the high beams, and that's how they work with that. So this is the interior. Let me show you the exterior. Okay, when I first got this car, it didn't have any taillights at all. Didn't have any rear wing trims or anything like that, and it didn't have that emblem in the back. It's still missing the trunk lock, and it's still, if you can see under there, it's missing the rear valance. So little by little, I put together the rear trim because that's what sets this car off. That's what makes this car, or gives this car its personality, is the rear wings. And I got the rear emblem at aftermarket for a pretty good price, all things considered. So put that on there. That, like I said, that's something I would do when I was 16. Now, it was red before, or reddish. I don't know. It was, I think the color is called cameo coral or something like that, but it was washed out and faded out. And it was originally a white car that they painted cameo coral, and so it had white coming through and everything else like that. So anyway, that's what I did was I painted this with Rust-Oleum and rolled it on with a Rust-Oleum paint job. Now the heart of the car is this engine. This is a junkyard 350 that I scored from a friend of mine. It cost me about $300. It was a running engine, pretty much sludged up, but it was a running engine. I had to change out the camshaft and lifters because it had a wiped out cam lobe. But that being said, I put a Edelbrock intake and a Chinese copy of an Edelbrock carburetor on it, and one wire GM one wire alternator, and a fan shroud. I added the fan shroud and the of course the silver Chinese radiator added to it. This is over time, and as you can see, it's got horns in it now. the horns are a little bit something I probably would have done when I was 16 as well. Some a little extra. In a minute I'll play them for you. But anyway, got the same replacement one pot brake master cylinder. One brake of the brake line and you're dead type master cylinder. Maybe be upgraded later on, maybe not, I don't know. But it originally came with an inline six, 235 inline six, and it was a 3-speed manual car. But it was the easiest thing for me to do to get it back on the road, to drop this in. It bolted right up. All you Chevy guys will attest to this, that Chevy's pretty easy when it comes to things bolting in. This is probably a 79 to 83-ish engine because it has HEI. Somebody can correct me on that if I'm wrong. But anyway, it fits right in, bolts right up, was easy to install. Dropped it right in and it went right on home. Plenty of room in here and everything else like that. So, like I said, that's something I would have done when I was 16. Try to get the 235 running, or score $300, or real cheap at the time. It would have been a lot cheaper than that. 350 Chevy small block, whatever. 283, 307, 305. I really didn't care. But anyway, just to get it back up on the road. So anyway, stand by. Something I forgot to do when I was inside. The horn. Yeah, it plays a lot better when the car is running, but you get the idea. Anyway, that is a little video on the Biscayne and why it's kind of ratty and kind of cool. And, if you think it's cool, that's fine. I think it's cool. If you don't think it's cool, that's okay too. It's everybody got their own tastes, and that's what makes this hobby great. Everybody puts their own little personality in their cars, and their projects or whatever. So, yeah. Anyway, so this video is Skinny Pete approved. But anyway, that's all I want to say about the video, or the Biscayne. And hope you, like I said, like, share, follow, subscribe. I'm almost at 1,000. I'd like to hit 1,000 soon. Just a goal for me right now at this point. I appreciate everybody, and appreciate all the comments, good, bad, or indifferent. Take care, God bless, and have a great weekend.